Yeah, it's
Yeah, the
one of
internet
them
is
days.
crazy today, guys.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. A
Yeah, it
lot of
was
people
last
probably
Saturday,
using it
Saturday
today.
before last too.
Probably. And it's Facebook. Facebook has been choppy for a while. Yeah, Facebook has been choppy for a while now.
Well, all
So,
of them. I think more and more people are getting on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, everything more and more and more and more because that metaverse thing is becoming a
hmm
huge pool, and that's where I'm trying to get all of us as filmmakers to recognize we have to, as
Oh,
business people, we have to see the next market that's going to benefit us. If we don't do that, we're going to be behind. Because you
hmm
already see, look, for years I've been telling people about Nigerian and Nollywood and stuff like that, and all the films in Africa. Netflix just got their
movies out
first
here.
Nollywood series. Netflix.
uh-uh.
Movies out
Yep.
Queen Sona was Nollywood.
Was that Nollywood?
Wasn't
Well,
Queen Sona
South
Nollywood?
Africa.
that was
No, South
Queen Soul,
African.
South Africa. Okay, because I was about to say,
Oh,
yeah,
South Africa. Okay,
hmm
okay. That was
Netflix
a
is
good series.
Yeah,
yeah, they just got their first series.
yeah, it was a great series.
It's a let me see what it is because I lost it in my brain right this momentito. Um,
I gotta watch it.
but I was fascinated because I'm like, it's a series, like it's a Netflix series, and so we not saying that we don't have it in the. I mean, black filmmakers got it, and that's the thing. But I
hmm
think they're more united in business and
Yeah.
support of each other than we are. We are sporadic, and we got to think about those things. Why are we so sporadic? And I know there was a question in our community group that came up that I even brought up before is
hmm
what can we do to come together? And then another person put a similar question in yesterday, and I was responding to it because I'm like, I get it. I'm just gonna be real and be honest with people. Y'all don't like to read. Like, let's just that's one.
hmm
Two, we forever are looking for other people's money, but we're not well invested. And I had to ask a question. I don't nobody's responded to that deep one. The question was, why do you I mean, how can you expect somebody to invest in your project if you don't have a running track record of work or bodies of work or anything? But we're always like, we need money to make a film. You don't actually need money to make a film. I posted an article from No Film thing. They took the camera they have, the lights they have, stuff they
hmm
had, and which means they had more money, but
hmm
technically they had accumulated it. And they spent $600 making a feature film that got distribution. So,
Yeah.
and it took them a lot longer to get it out there. So, but like at the end of the day, we are always saying, "Oh, where do we get money? Where do we get money? At your job? Like
hmm
you go to work to make money." Like I sit here as a testament that I have not used, with the exception of my thesis film, because I had to do crowdfunding for my project in order to get a grade. I had not
hmm
used anyone else's money to fund any projects I've ever done when it comes to film.
Yeah, my first short film, we won't get into that too,
Mm-hmm.
was shot with $0. We just
Exactly.
took my camera. We shot that movie Heat Wave in Philly, downtown, out in the park. It's like what, 15 minutes. It was nice. Sound was trash. I didn't have the equipment. We'll talk about that too. We'll get to all that. But yeah, but yeah, it was a very fun experience. Um, but yeah, as far as like the collaborative piece you was talking about, I think that's slowly happening, especially here in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of us that are connecting and meeting with each other and collaborating on projects. Actually, me and two other filmmakers here in Philly just had a premiere last year at the Ritz. Premiere all three of our projects together and
Okay.
sold out. Made some good backing on that. But yeah, that's something we're talking about doing annually, and now we're kind of getting other filmmakers on board to help out and be a part of that as well. So yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's slowly, but it's just happening.
Yeah, I mean, think in my mind, man, that collaboration piece, I think a lot of people are just really missing. But while we're talking, let's go ahead and get the show on the road.
I'm like, yeah, I thought we started.
Hey, good morning. Welcome. It's Saturday. Welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge, Saturday morning, indie industry shop talk. I'm your host, Michael Melville, with my other host, Tamira T.K. Henderson. And today's special guest, Darelle Williams, Darelle D. Williams. And he's here to join us. You're in Philly right now, straight from Philly. It's like everybody out here can always come from Philly, Texas, Maryland. We're not doing it purposely since we are connected to those people. But we're here to celebrate, have a good time, talk about, making films, the process, and, there's things I got to do before I do that. And what I got to do is tell you what the Black Filmmakers Lounge is about. See, the Black Filmmakers Lounge is where independent filmmakers, whether novices or professionals, come together to gain insight, perspective, through education, information, networking, to discuss industry best standards that will advance the Black independent film community. So that's what we're about. So we're glad that you're able to join us this wonderful Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. It's a little after 10, but we're about to make this happen. As you know, let's get it. Let's make it happen. And we're going to do what we do. There we go.
The voice transition
it's funny,
is perfect.
Darelle, it's funny
transition.
because he used to improv.
The voice transition. Huh?
I was telling Darelle, it's funny because he used to improv that, and then his wife told him to write it down. So now every time he's about to say it, he got to remember it's written down, and then he has to go read it from the paper. So it's kind of funny now when he does it.
Yeah, I got to pull it up. I was just like, hey, my wife's like, you got to say it exactly the same way every time, all the time. Yes, ma'am. Once I get used to it, I got to remember my lines. I got to run my lines and remember. Mm-hmm. Got to rehearse that.
You need to remember your monologue. Yes.
Oh, you having so much happening in the morning. We like, what's up, brother?
That's so funny.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate
it.
Face drop. I know you're 30, whole 3.
I gotta mess with you because you're the youngest person on this right now.
I thought about that this morning. I'm probably the youngest person on it, man. Y'all had on here. I thought about it. Okay.
No, you're not the youngest person we had on here. I'm just saying right now you're the youngest person.
Okay.
Have we had Darelle? Anyone younger than Darelle on here?
The actors from Cardell Cook's show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
they were youngins. Okay. They were real youngins.
They were youngins. Okay.
That episode.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started with what you're watching. Michael, you usually have the longest list. It's like, I didn't watch this much, and then you tell us like 12 hours of content that you watch. So go.
TK try to. It's cold, TK. It's cold.
He said, I didn't watch that much. Then he lists everything, and I'm like, well, okay, well, dang.
Okay, so this week, all I've watched was I haven't even watched Halo this week. I did to play catch up on Halo on Sunday, but so I haven't watched this week's episode, which was from Thursday. I watched We Own This City on HBO again. Mm-hmm. So I'm all caught up with those. I wasn't that far behind anyway. Crazy thing, it's been a long week at work. So we've been filming after school because the students have been doing career day interviews because they're supposed to be working on developing talk shows. So if I'm teaching next year, I'm going to bring that in as a new lesson is to do talk shows along with the school news, and the kids are going to learn to do talk shows, and then our principal's been talking to me about podcasting, because of course I have a podcast, and he's like, hey, I already been teaching podcasting, but now they're like, hey, we want the kids to do more podcasts and be more consistent. They have to learn consistency, like pretty much how to be industry, like episodic consistency, doing it, because it's like that. I know that you got to meet deadlines in this thing. That's probably the biggest thing of education, is teaching kids to meet deadlines. But for the most part, I saw We Own This City. Yeah. I watched the new short film movie thing for Constantine that DC released. I wasn't too fond of the art on it, but yeah, I've watched stuff like 2.5 Men, my guilty pleasure. And I think that was it. I really haven't, like, Tiffany reminded me last night why she was watching Put a Ring on It, and some other shows that she watches on OWN. She was like, this is supposed to be our date night. She looks at me, she's like, this is our date night. I said, yeah, but my show's coming on, so we're going to watch this first. She's like, go ahead and go back to sleep.
That's funny. That is so funny.
But yeah, because we're supposed to, so we'll do date night tonight. But then she'll tell me her other show's going to be on too, which is Love and Marriage, Huntsville. And of course, I think also today's the premiere of Love and Marriage DC. Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a reality shows. So I do watch the shows with her. I really can't. Like, I'm like, we have debates about couples, because I'd be like, they're jacked up. I just want you to know they all need to go to therapy. They got a lot of other issues they ain't worked out yet, so they shouldn't be dating right now anyway. But
they should be.
That's the truth. Me and my wife, we probably need to bring back the Faith, Love, and Dreams, the Friday night convo when we were live or talking and stuff. We probably need to bring that back on YouTube, and because I'm telling you, we can watch these shows and break them down. These guys, some of the guys is jacked up. The women are jacked up too. Everybody jacked up, but they don't see how the problem with going to therapy and stuff. And see, filmmakers need to think about this when you make a movie. The people go to a therapist. They always want to take their mate with them because they want the therapist to fix the mate. But the therapy needs to fix you. It don't need to fix the mate. The mate needs to come to their own thing with therapy, but you should be going to therapy to work on you, not for the therapist. You see what she says, she's right. No, it's not that she's right. That if you think that's right, and you need to look inward and see how that applies to you and not the other person, because people always want to fix the other person. And that's what makes movies storytelling good. Characters want to fix situations and other characters, and that'd be good stuff. So reality shows, I'm not a huge fan of them. It's not my thing, but I can see why people are in the situations they're in. But I also noticed that a lot of people on these shows are trying to be actors or be in the industry or get their face out there. So, because now you see people start popping up in movies more and stuff like that after they've been on these shows. So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's a crazy formula, but it works, I guess, for some people.
They're the cheapest shows to make. That's what they say. We should make a filmmaker's reality show.
She's working all
there was one
right now.
Yeah, there were two of them. There was one on Epix and one on Stars or something. Because one was Matt Damon and the other one was the guy, I can't remember his name. I'll tell you who play Spock in the newer Star Treks, and he was on Heroes as the villain.
I forgot.
Yeah, he had it too. They had their own film reality shows. I watched those because it was, I know it was like Green Room was the other one or something like that. Green Light or Green Room, and I can't remember the other.
With Matt Damon.
Yeah.
And Affleck.
Yeah, and then so we should, but see, we don't do it. We don't be like, hey, as independent filmmakers to get us out there. We just need to put a little bit of money together and let's just shoot our thing of all these filmmakers in our neighborhood trying to make films. I mean, yo, I'm telling you, okay, I did see something. I've been watching it. I don't see it all the time, but it comes up on Instagram and Facebook. There's these little kids in
Mhm.
Africa. I don't know where, but they reenact movie trailers and scenes from movies, and they go through everything. I'm talking about the stunts.
My
They
buddy,
did the
love them.
Kingsman, the church scene in the Kingsman. They they
Mhm.
do movie trailers, and they do it, and they have, not a bunch of stuff. They probably got a home video camera, but they knock it out. I'm talking about the stunt stuff. I'm like, hey, it look just like the trailer. I mean, they go through it all.
Send me
Get the
that
outfits.
link.
Yeah, I have to send you the link, but I'm like, these
Wow.
kids.
Yeah, send me that link.
They do it all the time. I think they probably, they got a lot. I'm trying to count. There's too many of them. They do a
Yeah,
lot
they've been doing it for a while, man.
every trailer.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darelle, what
The
about
first
you?
one I
What you
saw,
been
they
watching?
did the Thor. Ooh, I watched a lot. I watched. I just finished watching. I just finished watching Do the Right Thing again for probably the 10,000th time. It's my favorite movie, so I just figured I'm talking about film, so let's watch it again. I watched Outer Banks on Netflix, which is really good.
Okay.
Really, really great show. I'm like researching for another project I'm working on, but I'm enjoying watching that again. It's my third time watching it too. This is so much fun. Watched the last episode of Wonder Years, which is really good. It got renewed for a
It
second
got
season this
renewed.
morning.
Yep.
Yeah, this
Woo!
morning. So
Is that bad?
No, they're gonna get renewed. They
I'd
got
been
the
upset.
news.
Yeah. Watched the last episode of Flight Attendant, which is pretty fun.
Okay.
It's a really good fun show. It's a real fun show.
What's
I
it
think
called?
that's about it.
Flight attendant.
Flight Attendant.
Oh, Flight Attendant. Oh yeah. So you think Flight Attendant is good? Okay, I'm gonna check out the first episode.
Oh yeah.
Check it out.
It's cool. It's cool. It's really cool. Yeah, it's different. It's really different. It's like it's shot different. The actress, like at first I was like, why? Because I know her from Eight Simple Rules, Big Bang Theory, and now this. I'm like, oh, you switched it up. This is cool. But yeah, it's a really good show. Yeah, definitely check it out. Rosie Perez is on it. She does a good job in that as well. So yeah, it's a good one. And I think that's about it. I think that's it. So no, I watch every Chicago show, like every Chicago PD.
Oh, really?
Chicago Med, all of
Chicago
them,
Fire,
all of them.
Mid.
Yeah, I get sucked into it. I'm like, this is too good. Like this is so good. Okay, I'm here for it though. Yeah, it's good. I watched all of them. Yeah, that's about it so far. It's a small list for me right now, but yeah,
That wasn't even a long
Yeah,
list.
he's
He's like,
like,
this is
small
just a
list.
long list. But
I
you
watched-
said every
See,
Chicago
that's
show.
what I be talking
So
about with you, Michael. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now you see what I'm talking about. Okay. I watched the last 3 episodes of Made, and I watched a couple episodes of American Greed. I think that's all I watched this week.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure.
So
Wait, let me check my list. I said I was gonna start writing this stuff down. So it's been a couple weeks. Hold on. I said I was gonna start writing this stuff down because I'll watch something and be like, oh, I forgot to tell him I did watch this.
See?
Okay, I don't see nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. This is what I did want to say. I did watch a couple of episodes of This Is Us last week, but I haven't caught up on the last 2 or 3 episodes. This is what I did want to say. So before we transition over to Darelle and go into
and I did see Doctor Strange.
Disney, Doctor Strange. Look,
so we weren't on last week.
Has anyone seen the Disney Chip and Dale Rescue trailer?
Yes, I plan on seeing it next week when it comes out, when it drops. Yeah. It's interesting they're doing the 3D and 2D.
They're doing it. Yes, they have 3 different. I don't know what you call it, but it's 3 different ones. So they have the 3D, they have the animated, and they have a
live action.
I don't know what all the name. Live action. Mm-hmm. There you go. I know. Believe I've been in this industry for 21 years and I couldn't come. Whatever. But that was interesting to me when I seen the trailer, so I wanted to make sure we brought that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. There's another one. They got I saw a trailer for something called Sneakerella. About the black kid who makes sneakers. It's on Disney. So I'll probably check it out.
I sent it to Dana.
Yeah.
Yep, I
So
sent it to Dana when I seen it.
so
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
get Dana on
I'm
here
gonna
so
check
we
that
can talk to him this week.
oh yeah, that'd be good. So let's talk about cancellations. Unfortunately,
out. Oh boy,
our kind of people has been canceled.
I'm not surprised
I'm not either. They jumped in so fast. They gave it
at all.
everything about the
At all.
plot. Like we talked about the first episode, and we was like, they done told us the whole story now. Like
I wanted to like it so
I
bad.
watched like
I
I
wanted to
did
like it so
too.
bad. It's like,
I
I did
no.
too.
did
I kept trying
too.
to watch it over, and I was like, I can't.
And I
I'm like,
saw
this is
like
too hard.
I have my 3-episode rule, and I saw 3 episodes, and I just 4. I'm sorry, I watched 4, and I still just I tried so hard, and I
I
couldn't get
stopped it
into
too.
it. It was hard to keep me staying into. Um, and they had a great ensemble, which is so sad. So that's just me.
Yeah,
Uh,
it did.
Mm-hmm. It had a really
Naomi,
good cast, and I don't know how you dropped the ball like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And so it's a hard place to be.
yeah.
Naomi got
Is that you?
canceled from,
Hey, Thomas.
That's a hard one for me.
and again, Naomi, I've
Yeah, that's a hard.
watched a few, but it was like the build was so slow, and the
That's a hard
character.
one for me
I was
because
done
yeah,
after
I'm
one.
Why is it a hard one there?
yeah. So I technically volunteer for Ava.
Mm-hmm.
So so I watched her trajectory, so I know like her content's a little slow in this area. You know, it's a little hard, but and I got the comic book of Naomi. I'm a fan. Like I got the book. Is it near me? Yeah, all of it. I was ready for this to be successful. Ready for this to make it. And then
Oh,
it's like, nah, it's gonna be a slow one. It's gonna be wrinkling time all over again for me. It's just gonna
Oh
be a slow
man,
one. And I
yeah.
just knew it. I just
yeah.
knew it. Like, what? But yeah, it's
She didn't look at her counterparts when she does action stuff, because action jumps into it. You know, the first one kind of got you like, okay, what's this about? Da 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 da. But then as it went further, it just kind of
it was really slow, man.
yeah, it got slower and slower. And it so did the opposite of things like the Flash and all that. But like Legends of Tomorrow's been canceled too. It's you're gonna see a lot of cancellations. Yeah,
I watch all of them CW shows. I know when it's time to go. It's time to go. Like,
yeah. Batwoman couldn't breathe for nothing. I was feeling
they
bad
got
for
a bad start
Batwoman.
with the first one. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
Batwoman's
The
out.
one that's gonna
The last OG has been
Struggle
canceled.
Lightning.
Huh?
The last OG. I said Struggle Lightning. That's what I said. I
Oh.
called Black Lightning. I called it Struggle Lightning. That's what.
Yeah, the
Whole
last OG
conversation,
is
yeah,
out. So that's pretty much. Well, I'll next time I'll mention some other cancellations. Oh, the show with Eve and them got canceled, which was actually kind of decent,
Good.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a good one. That surprised me too. Yeah.
You know, so it's interesting to see these cancellations, but how does that impact us as independent filmmakers?
I think we just. I don't know. I think like I'm a story person. I like stories, so I think we need to just focus on telling good stories and where we want to tell them stories. I think like a certain place, especially like Fox. Fox is known for, and I don't know how like deep I can go here, but Fox is known for putting us in the front for a little while and get viewers and drop us off the next. Start it all over again.
Oh, that's
They're known for
UPN,
doing that.
CW. They all did that.
Yeah, right. So I think we just have to be more mindful where we go with our content. Because I know ABC's doing good with Abbott Elementary.
Yeah.
And that I think was kind of like a surprise for everybody how big that came off. And yeah, we have to be more mindful where we go with our content and the type of stories we're telling. If we jumping all straight into episode 1 with the with the twist already, it's like, well, like you told the show, I'm done already.
Right.
So yeah, it's just yeah.
I mean, you got to have a twist for the twist. That way, you know, people thought they saw it coming, but they don't see it coming. That's kind of where your writing has to go.
Yeah.
It's kind of like And the competition for TV series is really between cable versus television right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how does cable, how does HBO, how does Stars, how does Epic, how do they keep us subscribed? Where television is free, right? It's free.
Yeah.
And so the subscriptions versus television is kind of like, it's but I do notice one big thing is shows have gotten shorter. You're looking at seasons of 6 to 10 to 13 episodes, and then boom, it's done. You know, which gives you more shows to come out with too.
Yeah, I'm surprised Wonder Years is at 21 episodes now. Compared to most
God,
shows, you
so
stop at like 10, 12. But I'm good Wonder Years. I'm mad Abbott stopped at like 6. No, at 12. For 12 episodes, right?
Yeah, it was 12.
Yeah,
I was too. I was like, why?
That could have went on for 30.
But when we were younger, you used to get 26 episodes in a season.
13 to 13, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's changed. But let's go ahead, TK. Introduce our guest one more time.
So today, guys, what's up, Tony? What's up, Thomas? Today we have one of our own, who's actually my cousin on Randall's side today, William, Mr. Darelle D. Williams. And so we're excited to have him on. He is working on some things, and I wanted to bring him on so we could talk to him about his series and the tips, because like Michael said, this show is about tips and information to help filmmakers grow. And I thought he would be able to, I was positive he would be able to give us a lot of tips and advice in regards to shooting the series, because he is, well, I can't tell you everything because I'm going to let him tell it, but you'll see why. I'll just put it like that. So welcome, cousin Darelle. Cousin Darelle.
What's up, man? What's up?
How you doing?
But my friend, we got it. We got to get it right. We got to do it right. Welcome to the show.
Come on, Michael.
Welcome to the show. And then
there we go. There we go. So Darelle. So Michael likes to start at the beginning. I don't, but Michael does. So we're gonna go ahead and let Michael start at the beginning. Go ahead, Michael.
So what made you get into filmmaking?
Well, let's start this journey. Okay. So technically, I would start in college, but I'd be lying, really. So technically, I'm a theater kid.
Okay.
So my brother was in high school, and he was in this organization called Yo ACAP in Philly. And basically what they would always do plays around the city. And my mom always worked, so I kind of was with him all the time. So I'm like 5 to 12 watching theater plays from beginning to end, watching rehearsals, watching the actors, watching the director, watching set design, watching all of that as just a little kid playing with his toys in the audience. But I even got to play in one, and actually act in one. And this year I wanted to be an actor first before I got into the filmmaking part of it. Like I was gearing up to be the next, Will Smith, next Denzel, or Kel Mitchell, depending on the age group.
Right.
And I'll probably get into that story too. So yeah, and eventually I moved to writing when I got into 9th grade. My teacher gave me a book. It was like she gave us all this journal just to write before we start classwork. Just write anything that's on top of our heads. So for me, of course, I'm theater world and the poetry world at a young age. I'm always in front of a TV. So I said, all right, I just write a story with everything in mind. And I'm writing superhero stories, writing comic books, writing all this stuff at 9 years old. Knew nothing about it all, just writing. Then fast forward, I get to college, studying mass comm, HBCU Morris College. Shout out to the Hornets. And I actually do a play. I'm actually acting in a play.
Okay.
And I wasn't good at all in this play. I just wasn't a good actor. I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to be bad. Okay, yeah, we're not going to do this. So, but yeah, it was not good. The play was good, but I wasn't good. Who had the conversation? So then, while I'm horribly acting in this play, I figure, all right, well, let's figure out where I fit in this industry because acting was it for me. At least I thought, because I
Mm.
still kind of act now. We'll get to that part later. But yeah, so like, so I figured, all right, let me direct and write because I'm already a writer. I've been writing since 9 by then. I'm doing spoken word poetry, writing nothing but movies and plays already in
Oh wow, okay.
notebooks and everywhere. So I figured, all right, let me just go over here and do this part. And then the directing idea came in because I seen directors, who look like me and who are actually doing a good job. I mean, look, so I see if it's fun, I'm gonna go ahead and try it. So I've been working on that and trying to direct, and I didn't direct my first project until 2014.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and that was a moment. So yeah,
Oh man,
and
that's
here I am,
awesome.
filmmaker now.
See, we all kindred spirits
Yeah.
because I'm like listening to you. Like, hey, I did poetry, I did spoken word, I
Yep.
did,
Mm-hmm.
I did
Mm-hmm.
comic books, art, drawing. I'm like, me too.
All that. All that.
Like,
All of
see,
that. Yeah, I
Super
was like,
creatives. Super creatives, I call you.
I tell people I didn't choose the art. The art chose me because it wasn't. I didn't wake up like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I was already there.
hmm
It was just here you go. It was like God was like, we'll put you right here and not move you for a while, and you'll get it later.
yeah,
Like
it's
as a kid. So.
it's interesting because like my high school teacher said to me, he called me a Renaissance man, and he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"You do know what that is, don't you?" And I was like, "Well, no, Mister Wright, I don't." So he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, you need to research the Harlem Renaissance, young brother." And then, but he had his other
Love
way,
it.
but
Yeah.
he opened my mind because when we took English class, we read, Go Tell on Him Out and all this stuff by a lot of black authors,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
but we're Renaissance people. Like all of us are Renaissance. We
Mm-hmm.
embody the Harlem Renaissance in so many ways, which is why we need to come together. So, and
Mm-hmm.
that's coming together. How did you get it together? So, what was your first film and how did you get it together?
Ooh. So my first project is called A Moment in Time, and it was based off a poem I wrote just randomly. It wasn't random. So I went to the mall, and there was this girl at the mall that I was trying to talk to, and it didn't go nowhere. I was like, all right, okay, cool. So I took the rejection, went home. But of course, us creatives can't take anything and walk away. So I went home, wrote a poem that was like, what if it went the opposite way? Like, what if we actually did end up having this real cool conversation
Mm-hmm.
and then us never exchanging names, but the conversation was really
Mm.
cool. We just spent the whole day, like half the day together. Kind of weird thing, right? Um, so then I was like, oh, this would make an interesting short film. And I was trying to get another project that didn't work out. I tried to do a documentary on HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
This before HBCUs became like this popular thing it is now because everybody wants to do one. But back then, no one cared about it, so it wasn't that much of a thing to do. Um, so I kind of killed that project, and it was like the short film I did came about. Um, I never shot nothing in my life, so I was like, all I have is this little camera, a Rebel T3, um,
Mm-hmm.
zero equipment at all, no money. But I was like, I'm just gonna see if I like to do it. Just see if I like it. You know, you want to do something, but not sure if you
Mm-hmm.
like doing it. So like, all right, let me try see if I like it. So I put the ad out for two actors in a Philly film office. Got for some crazy reason I ended up having auditions outside in the park. Don't ever do that. Get a room. Please get a room. Imagine
Yeah.
that. We did it outside in
Get
the
a room.
park. It was hot. It was steamy. It was messy. But the actors that came through was really good, talented actors. I ended up casting three because one actress was really good, but she was in school at the same time. I was like, I don't want to give her the lead role when she had to take off school and all that stuff. So
Mm.
I just gave her a smaller role. And we shot that thing in a week in a heat wave in Philly. Three actors, me. No, listen, no microphone,
Oh wow.
no light, no, no filters, nothing. It was just a camera. So imagine what it sound like.
Yeah. You use the
Crazy.
camera mic?
Just insane. But
But
Yeah, it's a bad idea. It's a bad
yeah,
idea.
I
Very,
had
very
an
bad
experience too. Don't worry.
idea.
Yeah, we've shared that
Like,
experience.
yeah, it was not good. But the story was still good, and the experience was something I always remember because the actors are really game for it. Um, I would cast them in anything now. If they would show up, be like, "Can I get a part?" Yes, today you can. And
Mm.
that was it. We showed it on Vimeo, and I kind of just left it alone. Just left it alone because I knew it wasn't like sound wise the best project ever, but everything else was pretty good. We I didn't even know how to edit then. I think I edited on Movie Maker,
Really? Wow.
which was yeah, editing on Movie Maker. Oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't know. Like I didn't know. I just did it. Like I didn't know what to use. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't have no mentor. I didn't have nothing. And then we'll kind of get to that with the Life You Suck portion because that's kind of how that came about. Um, But yeah, I was just like, I'm just going screw it, just go for it, and just see what I can come up with, and try it at least. And I ended up liking it. Actors were game for it, and here we are now. I'm going. So.
Yeah, but you stepped out and
Cool.
did it, man. That's cool, man. I was like thinking,
Mm-hmm.
did I ever watch that? Because I remember somebody did one where it was that moment in time where the guy that was trying to talk to a girl in a restaurant or something, a cafe, or it was interesting. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see it though, because I like seeing where people started and where they are now. Because I would tell
Mm-hmm.
anybody that's how you really gauge it. Because you look at where somebody started and look at what their most recent stuff is. If you see that progress, they're heading somewhere. And that's the reality.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. The progress is definitely different now compared to back
Yeah.
then. Like I watch them, like, oh, if I'd have had
Absolutely.
sound, ooh, if it had sound, that'd have been good. Like, oh man, like, ooh, if I have equipment I had today, that'd have been
Oh man, yeah. Oh, got froze on for a second. All right,
There he
TK.
goes.
All right, I'm gonna
that.
let you take over,
No,
TK.
so after that film, then what was your next project?
All right, so I tried to. So a moment in time was supposed to be a three-parter.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm.
supposed to be moment in time, remembering yesterday, and chasing tomorrow. It was gonna be a three-parter
Mm.
project because it ended with them not knowing each other's name. And eventually, he was going to see her again, and they was going to get together, and then all the lovey-dovey stuff.
Okay.
But that got canceled really quickly because I just couldn't get stuff. I just couldn't get no equipment, couldn't get hands on anything. Um, and the next project was Dear Life You Suck. And that's a long story. That was so. Dang, it's been like 9 years for Dear Life You Suck. 9 whole years. So originally in 2013, I had the idea for this like high school Revenge of the Nerds kind of feature film, and I was going to call it "Suck It: Revenge of the Misfits." And the story just didn't click. It just didn't click. It was just like it's something just not clicking with me with this story. So I just kind of just left it alone. The characters left the characters all by themselves over there at my laptop, and just kept trying to find something to do. I went for a good block creatively for a while, for a couple of years. Um, and then I went to like a real like serious depression time. By this time, I'm out of college, can't get a job at all. Still can't get one, by the way. Can't
Oh
even
wow.
get an interview. Um, yeah, I can't even get an interview. Couldn't get in film school. I wanted to get to grad school, couldn't get in that. And like it was just like, yeah, everything I said I wanted to do, I couldn't do. And like
Wow.
everything, I'm
Wow.
stuck. So and I used to, and I journal a lot. And in my
Mm-hmm.
journals, I was always titled like "Dear Life," "Dear God," "Dear Love," "Dear," etc. One day, I just put "Dear Life, you suck," and just left it alone. Just walked off. Fast forward a couple of months, I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just write what I feel? Because after a while, it starts to get a little dark for me. So let's write this. Let's write this out. So I was like, wait, I got the story over here, these characters, and I'm not gonna do nothing with. So let's take these characters over here. Let's
Mm-hmm.
age them up from high school to mid 20s. I was like 25, 26 around that time. And let's put them in their life. You suck. And let's pretty much just put out what I felt. And unfortunately, I was like I forgot who said it. I think it was Lena Waithe. She said something about a good writer has to be like naked in their writing, like being
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable in it. And early on, I wasn't vulnerable. Like I was trying to like mask what I really wanted to say. In their life, you suck through different ways.
Mm.
So it took us like 9 years to get where we are. Because I started with doing like a poetry version as a short film, and it's like the spoken word was what I was feeling, but it wasn't really saying what I was saying. Um, and that ended up getting canceled. But that was just it was good, but not for this project. Um, then switched to a featured version of it, and that has probably 20 different scripts. I'll
Mm.
just be trying to figure it out and understand what I'm trying to get to and all that. And that just went left and very. It was all red flags. Every bit of it was red flags. Actors was red flags. The fight not getting crew was red flags. Everything was red flags, and that ended up not going anywhere. We tried crowdfunding, failed twice.
Mm.
Um, I got a Panera story. I don't know if you want to hear that one, but it's a very, very traumatic story for me. Um, so I can just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So in what was it, 2017? Was it 2018, 2017? So my actors, I figured, all right, let's meet because we never met each other before in person, which is weird anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let's all get together, meet at Panera Bread. It's in the public, it's downtown Market Street. Nothing crazy gonna happen if anybody thinks so. I'm all excited. Everybody's saying they coming. Only one actor told me she wasn't gonna make it. So I'm like, okay. So I'm all excited. I get up. Mind you, I gotta catch the bus to Panera Bread, Philadelphia. To the
Right.
23 bus. Oh, it's not, it's Philly. The bus is not, it's crazy. So I get there. One actor show up. I'm like, okay, cool,
Wow.
one. So I'm waiting
Mm.
4 hours. Only one actor showed up. And only
Wow.
one actor told me they wasn't
Wow.
making it. Everybody else just ghosted the whole time. I'm like, this is the most disrespectful thing I've felt in my life. Um,
Definitely.
and not for nothing, for like the actors for the actors watching this, the two actors, the one that came and the one that told me they wasn't coming, are casting in my show now. So make sure you always check in with the director. I'm like, all right, they stay employed forever with me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, oh, he froze on us.
Did he freeze? Okay.
I think he's frozen. All right, if you're frozen, you gotta come back in. Just go. You can hop out, come back in if you hear us. Um,
Wow. That's crazy.
I know. I'm telling you, the
That
internet's slow because I'm looking on my iPad on Facebook and it keeps dropping the signal and stuff. So I don't know what's going on.
well, I'm talking about the fact that the people committed to the project and nobody
Yeah,
showed up.
but
I
you
mean,
know,
it's crazy to me how people, I want to be, I had one person do that for Hip Hop Love Story, and
hmm
he literally was like, "Oh, I wanna this and that, and I can't wait to work with you, and blah blah this and blah blah that." And then the day up, like he actually asked me to print the script for him and mail it. I told him I'm not doing that. You have one page.
hmm
You have one scene, one page. Like I'm not doing that.
Here I am.
Hey, there you go. And
what's
I
up?
was like, and so that was like 2 days before.
My
And
bad.
he said, okay. And then the day of the table read, he didn't show up. He was the only one. So I have 47 people online. And he was the only one that didn't show up. But of course it was one page. And I act. So hey, I did what I do. But
Mhm.
I was just filling in talking about how when people commit to stuff and not show up.
Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
and
Oh
for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
that
It's
hasn't
on
been
you,
a
Darelle.
big problem.
Hmm.
But I can see what his experience because
Mhm.
there are actors that said they'll do something and they don't follow through or they're not as
Yeah.
invested. and that becomes the problem. And then later, when you
Yeah.
like making stuff happen, they're like, wait, hey, I want to get on board. And you be like, nah, man, like you showed me who
You
you
be like,
were.
and
Yeah, you showed me who you were. It's character, man. You gonna play
Never.
a character, but you gotta have some character.
They can
You know. What's
never.
up, Derek? By the way.
No,
listen, say that again.
If I see
You
them
want to
on
play a
audition, they
character, but
go
you have to have character.
Yeah. So hey, you know.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
bring us up to
And-
today.
So when you finally
and
got
for me,
to,
like I'm sorry. Today.
well, I want him to talk about the COVID starting to film it when you filmed it, that
Mm-hmm.
COVID, and then
Okay.
when you said you filmed the first episode.
COVID was actually. Yeah, we shot that during COVID.
Yep. So
We
tell us
shot that
about
during
filming the
it. That
first
was
episode.
2021. That was like probably.
So you shot it during COVID.
Oh man, that was fun. Yeah. So like actually, quarantine helped me finish writing the script because I was writing the whole season. So I wrote the whole season. We casted all 2020. Got my crew together. Got locations, all free except for one. It's funny how God works. Let's hold the conversation. But and then we filmed episode 1. We shot that in 6 days. We kind of kept everybody kind of 6 feet apart ish. Kept the mask on. Did tests before we started filming. Had a thermometer. Everybody was pretty well together. Yeah, this shoot had like. We had like one little issue, but it was nothing. It was just outside. It was just hot outside. That's basically it. Like everything else went pretty easy, which is not normal for film. Like it's not normal to go that easy, but it went pretty good. Yeah, we shot it. It was a fun experience shooting that. Actors came ready. We did rehearsals before. I think like 3 weeks before we did rehearsals. Yeah, we was ready. Episode 1 was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any specific questions?
Perfect. I want to know because you're in the middle of filming episode 2, or did you just finish filming?
We just finished episode 2, and we're about to start episode 3.
Okay. So what I want you to tell us is what you learned different from episode 1 going into episode 2. Like in regards to the filming, in regards to the casting.
Yeah, so episode 2 gave me the most headache ever. Because it wasn't a bad experience. It was just different, and I had to learn how to pivot in episode 2 a lot. There were last minute cast changes we had to do. There were characters that I had in the script that didn't end up being in episode. We had to change locations last minute. We had to change a whole entire sequence at the very last minute. It was a sequence idea I had. Have y'all seen 500 Days of Summer?
Not totally, but yes, I've started it.
No. Okay, so it's a sequence with the lead actor called Expectations versus Reality, and it's a side-by-side shot of what he expects going to happen when he walks into this party with this girl that he thinks still loves him, but she doesn't. And what's reality, what really happens is he's going to a party, a casual party, that's turned into her engagement party. That's basically that whole sequence, and it's side by side. So I figured, well, I'm going to kind of like take inspiration from that and put that into one of the characters, Todd. You're going to flip it around. Like his expectation is going to be this party is going to be trash. They're not going to like him. They're going to pretty much ignore him the whole time. And the reality is the opposite. They're happy to see him. He's enjoying this day, and they're having their fun. And then he kind of gets slapped with something happens that I can't talk about this spoiler. But
right.
And yeah, I was about to say it too. So I can't even do that. But we couldn't get the extras for the party. We couldn't find the actress to play that role I wanted until the very last minute.
Okay.
So I end up cutting the scene drastically different. It's now him walking to the door, knocking on the door opens, and something else happens. But it gets to the point of what was going to happen originally. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to pivot. Episode 2 taught me how to pivot the most. I was telling my AD, episode 2 made me feel like a director. Like I felt like I was the director in episode 2. So we had to pivot, change locations. We had a track field that we are going to use episode 1. We used that same one, but it was locked because of the holidays. So that day of, we had to go
Oh.
find another track field. The day of, and we end up finding that, and that turned out to be pretty good. Yeah, you just gotta learn how to pivot when it's hard, because it does. It gets hard. It gets last minute changes. Um, and that's and another lesson that I've learned in episode 1 and episode 2 is really trusting your team, because I've been so by myself for the longest. It's been me for a long time, and
Mm.
even when I was talking about my last experience with the cast, like that kind of it for a while, it made me a little hard. I wasn't letting nobody in for a while. Like, nah, I'm not. I got this. Like, I don't need nope. Go home. No, nobody coming over near my stuff. Y'all two over there. Um, but having a team from episode 1 to episode 3 is like a blessing, because I'm able to watch other people fall in love with with the project too,
Mm-hmm.
and to watch them take the project and start to as their own, and then put it together for themselves. And now we're all like banding together to tell this good story, and everybody's like becoming a real tight family. And that's been pretty good for me, because this, like I was telling someone the other day, I'm just throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks really, because I had training, but not enough training.
Okay.
Like most of my training is watching YouTube videos or master class or like a workshop here or there, and just using it and just trying what I already have. Like it is, I got like 3 notebooks just full of stuff, full of notes and everything. I'm like, all right, let's just take these notes and use what I got. I got a bunch of projects. All right, take that and let's film that. And that's just being resilient in what you don't have and just using it.
Mm. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like
That's awesome.
it's because I mean, having that, I think that you're planning. Excuse me, you're setting yourself up, and you're going through the trial and error. I mean, one of the
Mm-hmm.
biggest things I'm always an advocate about is learning how to be a filmmaker and the business
Mm-hmm.
side of it. And so that I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
toughest part for filmmakers is the business, because that's where we
Oh
normally
yeah, yeah.
realize we lack in. Because the creative
Right.
side is time. It's just putting the time, getting the right
Mm-hmm.
people in place, knowing trying to figure out what you don't know, use what you do know, um, to make those things happen. So you're doing that. You got people working with you. You
Mm-hmm.
open up, but it's trial and error. It's all goes. Any business goes through a trial and error stage. I always say
Yeah,
it takes about 5 years for a business to
yeah.
make do. So
Mm-hmm.
when is this show going to
Yeah.
be released?
That's
Like, are you?
awesome.
Go
That's
ahead. I'm
awesome.
sorry,
I'm
TK.
self-taught too, so yeah.
So when is this show going to be
No. I
released?
was just saying I'm self-taught too, so I'm.
Yeah. See, I've always supported TK because I'm like, but the thing is, neither one of you have bypassed getting an education in the industry. You're finding the things,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
tools,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
seminars, all the stuff, and that's really what it boils down to. You don't have to go to college for it. You don't have to attend a school. Heck, there is
Mm-hmm.
master class. I'm subscribed to master class. I watch stuff because knowledge is knowledge. I'm a forever learner. Like you just don't stop. I'm a lifelong
Mm-hmm.
learner. That's how I look at it. Like whatever it
Yeah.
is you want to learn, you need to do it for a lifetime. Um, you know. So
Yeah, masterclass is a great investment. So I was telling anybody to get masterclass immediately. Like it's a great investment. And also for me, that helped me was volunteering at Black Star film festivals and comic cons and all of that like that. It's I know it doesn't sound like it helps with film, but it does. Especially for us introverts that don't like to talk that much. That
Hmm.
gets us to actually have to speak to people. Um, and a lot of my crew came from volunteering with the Ray at Black Star and
Mm.
doing Scribe Video Center and Seminar. That's mostly where my crew came from. It's me
Okay.
being at those places and talking to people about my experience and meeting them and all of us are like slowly coming up at the same time. And that's kind of where the premiere I talked about last year came from. It's just us three, all of us coming up at the same time and then putting it
And
out there. So yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that you're volunteering, that you've spent time investing in helping others, like you were being
Mm-hmm.
beneficial, and then now you're
Yeah.
reaping the benefits of that
Mm-hmm.
being beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It wasn't always easy, but it's definitely helpful. Yeah. 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 It's some it's some films you watch like, yeah, I could have stayed home for that one. But other than that, it's like it was something I could have stayed home. Yeah, this was it, y'all. But yeah, it was it's a fun experience to really volunteer and to really, especially with Black Star, because I met so many good filmmakers there, so many good people. Period.
Hmm.
At that film festival, yeah, like that was definitely probably the best experience at Black Star. I got experience with one guy. I was randomly just standing still somewhere, watching, waiting for the premiere to start. This older man, I don't remember his name at all. He walked up to me and was like, "Are you filming a screening this year?" I was like, "No." Like, I don't have a film at all to show at Black Star. But like, well, thank you for seeing it. Like, thank you for seeing it ahead of time. And little stuff like that I remember as like little nuggets to keep going. So
Hmm.
that was definitely helpful for me at that time. So yeah, I'm always shout out that film festival, but that was yeah.
Mm. So my other question,
That's awesome.
because I realized we got a delay, like all three of us got a different delay. That's the internet
Yeah,
for
I
you.
noticed it, so I'm like, I'm just quiet. Yeah. Yeah.
But my other question.
Uh,
So when have you released the first episode for your series, or are you filming everything first and then you're gonna release your shows?
so we technically released the first episode during that premiere last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like a small screening of people to see the pilot. And right now, I kind of got on pause, so we're doing the film festival circuit with episode one.
Okay.
My plan is to have that be shown in the festivals while we're filming episode two and three. Um, to hopefully get funding, get investors. If we have to crowdfund, I will. I don't want to. I'm just not a fan of crowdfunding. It's a traumatic experience. I'm just scared of it. But
Mm-hmm.
again, with my cast and crew, I think we can actually do it. But it's just the idea of having to do it again that freaks me out. But and that's pretty much what we're doing. We were just building momentum and doing episode two and three and kind of talking about it on Instagram and Facebook. People can see what we're doing, and hopefully get more grants and investors and stuff like that. So,
Okay. Yeah,
mhm.
I was curious on how that was. What the plan was, like, what's your distribution
Mm-hmm.
plan for the series? What are you looking
Yeah.
to push it at, or the
So
objective?
the whole series is so my big goal is to be on a streaming platform.
Okay.
Like it doesn't have to be Netflix. It could be Hulu. It can be Amazon. It can be uh all black. I don't care. As long as somebody see it. I'm content. I forgot how it said content agnostic. I'm not. Don't matter about that.
Mm.
But that's my big goal. But if we gotta go on YouTube, that's the option to go on. And that's kind of where we would be at is at YouTube. But I'm hoping to find a platform already on YouTube already established, like like what we call black and sexy, like that kind of a thing,
Oh yeah.
or Issa Rae's page that she used to do a lot of web series on, stuff like already established that we can kind of just throw their life you suck on that fits our tone because we're a very different kind of show. Um, and that's pretty much the big goal. But yeah, so the big goal is to be on a big streaming platform. The if we can't get there, then YouTube is where it's at
Okay.
for now.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And hopefully,
So that's
and
good.
yeah, and hopefully, if we get the funding, we can film the rest of the season. Um, it don't cost that much for us. We got the equipment already. Most of our locations are free. I just want to be able to pay my cast and crew. That's the only reason why I'm getting funded.
And feed
Is
them.
just to pay them
Yeah.
because
Pay
they
and feed
are
them. That's
pay
our
them.
thing.
You know, because they're
Yeah.
too
So how much
good
is
to
it
work for
costing you,
free.
you
That's
think,
how
per
I.
episode?
This last episode 2 we shot was $345.
Okay.
That's how much it cost for episode 2. Because again, everything was free but food. So it was just like that's pretty much what we did. Episode 1, we had a grant from Scribe Video Center that was $2,000,
Okay.
and we shot that again 6 days. Again, both of our stuff for free again. So I'm pretty much gonna go for the 2,000 plus 10 because it's 10 episodes total. So that's pretty much going to be our big goal as far as funding um, all of the rest of the season.
Now, how long are your episodes? What's
Yeah,
your length mark that you're going for? Running time.
like like 16 minutes each. I think the longest episode is the finale
Mm-hmm.
because it's a ensemble piece, so it's kind of different characters going through life. And by that time, we've seen the story. We know what's happening at this point. I'm just putting everybody in the same episode because the format is not from episode 1. Of course, you see everybody in the first episode, but then 2 we switched up like 3 characters, and then 3 is 3 different characters. So it's pretty much just giving everybody enough room to grow for their story. And then by the time we get to episode 10, we know what's going on. So and so may or may not get the job, or he might follow his dream. This person might go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
This character is going to finally reveal what she's really going through and may not get therapy. This character is going to kind of like I don't want to say these spoilers, but
Right.
this
Nah. Don't
character
get too much,
is
but yeah.
yeah, it's just there. But yeah, it's by the time we get there, episode 10, like all right, it's basically the end, and then we'll lead to if there is an episode 2, will lead to what will happen in episode 2. Well, maybe season 2. What I'm talking about. But yeah, in season 2, we'll get to what happens there.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's all
interesting.
planning.
That's
It's all
awesome. I
it's
can't
planning
wait
and
to see
preparing.
episode 2.
And
Yeah, I'm
episode
looking
2
forward to
is
see
fun.
the episodes.
It's really fun.
Yeah, and one of the things I noticed is Tubi is looking for a lot of episodic stuff now, too. So
Oh, they
and
are.
and Derek's on here, Derek Hammond, and a lot of people have been pushing Tubi. They're like, "Hey, go to Tubi, go to Tubi." So it's kind of like and you're probably going to see more sites like Tubi pop up, but they're trying to. I think the smart thing is, and this is just me, for us as independents, a lot of industries need independent content. I think everybody tends to think in a major studio mindset for the outcomes, but it's like if you're an independent manufacturer or creator of content or whatever, don't look at big numbers. Your impact doesn't have to be as big as major because your budgets are different. Your audience is similar, but
Right.
you're on a different level and your needs are much different. But what happens is I think we start thinking major in mindset, and we're not even at that major level on the independent side. And you don't have to be. That's the crazy part. Because an independent film, you have your actors, like if you got your equipment, you own your stuff, you got your lights, you got your mics, you got your camera, you got pretty much all your stuff. You're just filming and hiring actors. And so your thing is to pay the people that come do work. But because you're not, and then you have the beauty of if you just build yourself to the level where you start probably leasing out equipment, oh yeah, now you can get an RE to shoot on. Now you can get this, you can move from a Black Magic to this, you can do, but right now, if you just got a Black Magic or a Canon or whatever, the reds. I mean, I see people run out. I'm gonna buy a red, but the same amount of money people spending for a red camera. Me personally, if you shoot in 4K, you shoot in 4K. Who cares right now? Don't go waste 20 grand on a camera and you only shoot one movie, because that's wasted money. But if you take that money and you buy a $5,000-$6,000 camera, or a $2,000 camera, and get 3 of them jokers, and you shoot from different angles, which cuts your time. And that's where it becomes to being strategic. And so as an independent, you get to do those things, and no one is expecting you to be at, which is a downfall to us if we do expect that. No one's expecting you to be at Spike Lee's level, because Spike Lee's first film was done on a, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, we're coming out. You're starting.
Yeah,
and so
that's
you shouldn't be there yet. You got to grow to be there. That's what growth is about.
That's a lesson that's a lesson I had to learn for myself, because I started off like that. I started off wanting to be the best today. Like, I gotta be the best one, like right now. Like, there is no room for me to grow. There's no room for me to mess up. There's no room for me to do nothing. If I'm not number one today, something's wrong in this world. And that's just a very unhealthy way to go about it, right? And I had to learn to, like, allow myself to grow. And I took every loss personally. And that's just because I think that's just how I grew up, around, like, just us not being like you said earlier, us having to be the one person that had to be there. Like, in that mindset of the only one could make it, only one could be with Spike Lee or the Tyler Perry, for some who don't like it. I'm not talking about that. Only the one could be the Denzel Washington or the Will Smith or the Chadwick, when he was around, or the one so and so and so and so thing. And of course, my early failures with what I talked about earlier, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have to be number one ahead curve, because I already know I'm coming in with not a lot of experience. Like, I'm coming in with no education, with no connections. I already know actors, like, you don't got no work. What are you talking about? All right, so I'm gonna come in with plans of how we're gonna shoot it, with over preparing studios stuff. Like, I got like tons of files for nothing but story Bibles and lookbooks and everything. Just try to be the best today. And like, now let me, like, pull back and let me just grow into that person I want to be. So yeah, I had to learn that lesson the hard way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all do. I think we all came in with the perfectionist mindset, right? And the more I stopped and the more I studied film, the more I stopped trying to be a perfectionist, because I started paying attention to movies and I saw the imperfections. It was like, wait a second. Like, hold up. And like I always mention on shows, the fact that Sharknado has made it so far, it tells me something. I listen, and I hate criticism at this point. There's good criticism, there's good feedback, constructive. That's your people around you. That's your circle to help you grow. But like, I'm so tired of filmmakers got so much to say about other people's work that's out there. Like, I'm at the point, who cares? It's subjective. How you feel is subjective. It's how you feel. It doesn't even matter. Because if somebody goes, yo, I like that movie. It's like right now, Doctor Strange. People are like, some people really liked it. Some people really hate it. Some people are in the middle. Guess what? But it still made money. It still got made. It's still going to happen. Guess what? Marvel's going to make another movie. They're not going to stop. And we have to think like that. Like, okay, I didn't get, the audience I intended. Right? But I got an audience, and that and we deserve that. And I know you're working on your stuff. And so, what has changed for you? Like, what perspectives have shifted, that you got insight on, that you go, okay, I can do this differently. I'm not going to focus on that anymore. I'm not going to go that direction. What has shifted for you as you've been filming and producing your stuff?
Man, I think just understanding the craft and the business more, and trying to like now I'm trying to figure out my lane more as a filmmaker, like what kind of projects I want to tell and what kind of stories genres I want to go into, stuff like that. Like that's where my mind is going to now. It's being more of a strategic and focused. More, I started adapting the Pixar way of filmmaking of how they tell stories, of how they go straight for people's soul. And that's kind of where I want to go. Straight for somebody's heart, just drag it out. Everybody cry on the floor. That's exactly where I'm going, and that's pretty much it for me. It's just really, oh yeah, I'm going there. That's pretty much it for me. It's just figuring out the who I want to be in the industry, right? And where I want to go and what kind of projects and where I want. Do I want to just do television or do film or do both? I can do
Right.
both. Whether to write or direct, or am I going to stay independent, or whether I'm going to go and do studio projects, stuff like that. Again, I can do both. Like that kind of a thing is pretty much where my mindset is going. Of course, start my own production company. Even that, what does that look like now for me? Because now I'm not the green kid I was in 2013, where I didn't have equipment or didn't have a crew, didn't have people that trusted me to lead the project and shepherd the vision in a way that the project can be made and be done and get all that stuff. Now I got all of that, and now it's just trusting in God of like how to stewardship all that I have now. Yeah, I hope that answered the question. I'm going a lot of places, but yeah.
Nah, you did.
Okay.
You good. I like to see like one. We're looking at best practices. We're looking at where you started from, what you've learned from it, what has allowed you to grow, right? The things that you've encountered that allowed your growth. Because again, you said you hit this moment where you're going through depression, you're dealing, things ain't panning out, but now you're shooting your stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that inspiration, that fire, what ignited it, what's moving it? People need to hear that, because some people are like, hey, I've been wanting to make this film for so long, but I don't know if I can do it. And because I remember you coming on like, hey, I'm trying to do this. Or you'll ask a question. And that's the beauty about the people that come and join us on this live stream and watching, because when you guys ask questions, we're here because we want to see you win.
Yeah.
And so when you're starting to win and when you're on your stride, we're here for it. We love it. And so
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, bruh. Thank you. I mean, because you keep us moving. Okay. Yeah, you guys
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys keep us moving, because I research, I learn, I talk to people, I get around people, and just so I can bring back information, or I'll sit back and examine stuff. Like I keep trying to tell filmmakers, stop promoting your film in film groups. That's not it. I mean, it is, but it isn't
at all anymore. No.
Right? You can promote there, but that shouldn't be your. As soon as somebody joins the Black Filmmakers Lounge
to the ocean.
Yeah, like you got to stop that. Like your film's audience is people who are engaged in the subject matter, or it's people who like, we don't want to share too much of everybody's story, but if it's like, if your character, and I've said this before, if one of your characters dealing with cancer, then you need to be in a cancer group. But the first thing you should not do is go watch my movie. Like, no, join the group, ask questions, talk to people, relate to them. And then one day you go, I want to know so much or just say, hey, I've been working on this film about cancer. And I've been inspired. Like, what makes you want to make a film where your character's dealing with cancer? What makes you want to make a love story? What makes you want to, is it just to make money? If it's always the money is a part of it, it's a result. It's not the process. But the thing is, when we're in marketing, it's like this. If we watch a Nike commercial, and I tell anybody, sit back and watch a bunch of Nike commercials. Nike is about sports and inspiration, inspiring you to get somewhere by working out or doing it. I remember they had a Nike commercial with a very overweight young man, and he just kept running. And Nike's like, just get started, just do it. right? And it was all
Yeah.
inspirational. It's like, just get out there, just do it. Nike's thing is just do it. And that's always been their slogan for so long. But the campaigns they build around it, filmmakers aren't examining the marketing aspect of how to market. And so I'm trying to challenge everybody to understand, like, filmmaker groups are for us to talk to each other and be like, yo, I'm working on this project, but I'm not, maybe this isn't working out for me. Can anybody explain this to me? Or has anybody had this issue? Or has anybody encountered this? Hey, what was how did you win start getting your casting? Because you said, look, you were casting in a park, right? You're like, hey, it's cheap. I have to get a location. But but now you're like, I don't know, I'm not gonna cast in the park ever again. Because of what you ran into.
It was too high.
And your actors are probably like,
I was like, I don't. Yeah, I was so upset for them. I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry.
but it's okay. But it's a learning experience. And that's the thing, because somebody else would be sitting at home like, I could go cast at the park. It's cheap. I don't have to rent nothing. But don't know that they could take like $50 and get a room for 2 hours or 3 hours. Or if they go negotiate with the person, they might have a friend that lives in an apartment complex that can get, because one time I lived in an apartment complex and we had the lounging area or whatever for all the tenants to go hang out at. And you can either rent it or just be in there. And since nobody really was using it on a Sunday, I had a casting on a Sunday. And then on Saturday, because I realized most people just go to the gym to work out in the pool. So nobody's in the lounge area. And when they see you in there, they don't bother you. So I was like, I could rent it out. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. If we don't talk to each other, if we don't say, oh, I know how to, do you know anybody who lives in an apartment complex that has a center for the community of the apartments? And some people are like, oh, yeah, I know somebody. Oh, talk to them. Maybe they can help you out with your casting. Maybe you find out how much it's going to cost and they pay for it for you.
Yeah, that's how I got most of my locations. I got most of my locations doing that, just asking people. Or just walking into the room and asking them. Like, I asked the gym, can I use their there's a small little corner, and they're like, you can use upstairs. Like, nobody was up there for about a good 4 hours. Like, oh, okay, all right, sure.
Yeah, the library.
For episode 2, we used a coffee shop, Coffee Creamy Dreams. Used them basically for free. All I did was ask for product placement. I put the cast in y'all shirts and get the cups to show the names of the coffee shop. Get the outside, the exterior shot of the building, and that's it. And use that. That's basically.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? What you learn there is the power of negotiation. That's negotiating. That's getting something you need by benefiting the other person. And I've been doing that for a long time. That's how I get all my locations. When we did our web series, bro, I walked in there. I said, listen, I'll put a commercial. Well, I'll have my actors talk about your location, like your business, at the end of every show. I did just that. And they're like, oh, really? And, I don't know if people went to the gym or went to the cafe after that. I mean, if they did, hey, kudos. I'm happy they did. But see, I benefited them. And anytime they had an event, I told people about it. Oh, go to this place to eat. And just tell them, the guy who filmed Michael, whatever. And so that's what we need to do, because we're independent. We have a freedom that some places don't have a freedom. So dealing with actors, with casting, what's your method of casting?
Now is vetting. I do a lot of, unfortunately. I'm trying to learn to like the casting process. I really have a love-hate for it. So now my process is pretty much, I have 2 separate auditions. I have the self-tape audition, where you send the self-tape in, we watch the self-tape, and whether I like you or not, we pick you. And then you have like a face-to-face audition, whether it's face-to-face as in person or face-to-face or on Zoom, with me or with one of the actors priority cast, and y'all
Mm.
have a chemistry that moment. So that way I can actually get to know the actor and kind of get to talk to them a little more, tell them what the character is about, tell them what the story is about. Um, and yeah, just kind of get the feel of them and see if they really fit the character, and also they fit the project too. Because you as an actor, you are representing the project as well. So you want to cast somebody who's actually a nice person, and not cast a diva or somebody that's just here to be crazy. I'm not doing
Mm.
that. So I go through that process, and then after that, we pick the actor who we want, we cast them, and then I go through another process where, like I said earlier, I over prepare. So I write extensive bios of each character from their childhood all the way to where they are as we meet them in the show or the movie. So me and the actors are now talking about the character as well. Like, all right, this is where the characters come from. This is who they are. You got questions, ask me the questions, and then we'll go back and forth. Just a dialogue about the character and see where their head's at. Just kind of, we'll get to know the character, but also me and the actor getting to know each other. So by the time we're on set, we kind of got more of a rapport at that point. Um, we rehearse. Once we on set, we ready to go.
Mm. Okay.
And I'm loud. I like music playing, laughing. I'm cracking jokes. Always checking on everybody, make sure everybody's having fun and stuff like that. They're doing good, stuff like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome. What you got, TK?
So
That's
yeah,
cool. You gave
I made
and
it.
you given us nothing. I'm just
Mhm.
thinking he's given us so many gems.
Yeah,
Go
a
ahead.
lot of
Go ahead,
insight.
Darrell.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was saying I made it my choice to not
Oh, you were about to say
go through
something
my
as well.
experience I had before with actors. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was saying I made my mind to not go through that experience again with actors. So my vetting process now is that long, extensive audition process, which I'm like, I like it, but I don't because it's long, but it's purposeful. Um, but yeah, it's really helpful, and also a lot of actors in this show are actors that didn't audition really. Mostly, I think only like four audition.
Okay.
Everybody else I already knew. Like I knew one actor from working with Theater the X, another
Mm.
actor I knew from Scribe Video Center, another actor I knew from I just kind of seen her around a lot. Like I saw her do a project, which is pretty good, so I offered her the role. A lot of the main actors people I just offered the role, and some are auditioned, but the ones that auditioned went through that long process. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like how you incorporated the Zoom and the thing because that's where we're at now with a lot of acting. We were talking about on our
Hmm.
previous show that the doors have opened
Yeah.
up for actors more because they can send those tapes in and submissions, and then they can hop
Hmm.
on Zoom. So it's that using it, incorporating it. Like we have
Yeah.
this beauty of this new technology at our fingertips. Unlike today where it's acting up on us.
Yeah.
But
Oh
Yeah. It
my
is. It
God,
is what
there's
it
such
is.
a big delay.
And
yeah.
also for it is the. I'm noticing it too. Like I'm trying to talk when you talking. It's like okay, I'm shutting up. But but yeah, like I was saying, also for and for the
No,
actors
that's
too. Some
because I'm
actors live in
I'm
New York.
talking two
They
minutes
live in like
ahead.
Jersey. I don't.
On our way out, we
Mm,
want Darelle to drop his 1 minute jewel, 60-second jewel. What you got, brother?
I get to do one today. That's I get to do one today. Um, it's so weird. I'm usually on the other side of this. Um, yeah, just be resilient, man. Just be resilient. Don't ask for permission. Go for what you want with filmmaking. Um, yeah, and don't stop for anybody. You gonna feel a lot because I felt a lot. You gonna feel a lot of curveballs, but as long as you keep going, it's definitely worth it. So just keep going and be resilient.
There you go. Be resilient. Keep it moving. Don't worry about somebody saying, yes, it's okay to do this.
Can I please?
TK, your 60-second jewel.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I have about a 20. There's about a 20-second delay.
Okay.
But my jewel is number one. I have two. So number one, don't forget to tune in to Brandon Brooks' show, one of our own, on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Indie Outlaws United on the Indie Escape Network on YouTube. And last night he had Art Camacho, which was really good. And he was just talking about how he got up there and then God humbled him down. And then after he humbled himself, he exploded again. And he was talking about not giving up. And so, speaking of not giving up, in December, it'll be 16 years I was called to write, 16 years in December. And one of the original scripts I was hired to write a few years ago actually just landed a $50 million deal. It'll be end up between 50 and 60 million. So just wanted to share that. Okay. Don't give up, because if you're walking in purpose and obedience, everything that's lined out for you is going to happen.
Yep. Winning. All right. Thank you, TK.
I can barely hear you guys, but I heard clapping.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. TK's winning. Darelle's winning. My 60-second is real simple. The film is a business like any other business. To put film as an adjective. And when you understand it as a business, you start making business decisions and studying business. Study the business of sales. Study the business of marketing. Studying the business of creating a business and how to run and operate a business. You can't just think that, I'm going to make a movie and people are just going to watch it. You have to have a plan on how you're going to market it to your audience. So basically, I'm saying, like any business, you need to research it. You need to learn how to run a business and treat it as a business. You need to don't just look for money from people if you haven't spent your money to build your business. Okay? Because what's your return on investment? What have you done that's going to get them their money back? If you can't have any production, there's a lot of new people coming into filmmaking. It hasn't made one short film or a project with their money, and they're asking people for their money. You got to have a calling card. That's what short films are. That's what a lot of your miniature projects are. They're your calling card. They're also your portfolio. And be diverse. I hear people all the time, where do you find the money? Listen, I'm be straight up truthful. All my projects have been funded out of my pocket with the exception of one, which was my thesis film, which I had to do crowdfunding. And I didn't get a lot of money that I needed to do it, but I got some. But it's also because I built relationships with people and they were willing to say, hey, I've seen his work before. I'm going to support that. So you have to think about that as an independent filmmaker. When you're looking at other people's money, how are you invested? Because if they're going to lose something, what are you going to lose? And that's what investors look at. So if you want return on investment, you need to be a person that can, you got to have a return on investment. That's what people are looking for. That's what they want. If you're going to lose their money, you got to be losing with it too. Just like the stock market. And some things are slow, and we are at an age, y'all got to figure it out. And I will tell you, to fund some of my films and get equipment, I went to school. Student loans were the easiest loans on the planet to get. I just want to put that out there. You can't get a business loan, but you get a student loan. So some things were beneficial. And I killed two birds with one stone. I got equipment to produce films. I did films, and I learned more about filmmaking, all in that swoop. I'm not saying college is for everybody, but if you want something bad enough, you'll find the money. Think about what you're spending the money on. So as a reminder, hey, we like to thank you for joining us at the Black Filmmakers Lounge. I like to thank our special guest, Darelle, for Williams for hanging out with us, even with all the issues we were running into. But we still mustered through this. Remember that the Black Filmmakers Lounge is a place where independent filmmakers, whether novelists or professionals, come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, networking, and discussing industry best practices that will advance the Black independent film community. That's what we're about. That's who we are. I like to thank my host, Tamira TK Henderson, for coming on, hanging out with us. Once again, we love it. It's just beautiful. And I like to celebrate both of them for doing what they're doing, because doors are opening up for both as they're making their moves and not taking no for answer and answering what God has done for them. So you as filmmakers, join the YouTube page. If you have problems watching this, it's going to get thrown up in the YouTube page anyway. So go join that. Make sure you follow us on YouTube and Instagram. And make sure you're following everybody who's on here. Network with the people. Join the Black Filmmakers Lounge community page. And if you join the page, again, don't bring sand to the beach. You'll figure it out if you read the rules. Because some people are like, why isn't my trailer posted? Well, it's not Tuesday. And there's a thing that says post right here. But share about filmmaking. Build about filmmaking. Let's talk about filmmaking. Let's do it so we can get better at it and build this community, because the Black Filmmakers Lounge is about creating our own space to succeed together. Let's make this happen. And don't remember this, be strategic, intentional, and authentic. Like, subscribe, and share. All right, we out. We love y'all.
Oh. Like, subscribe, share on the delay. Like, subscribe, share on the delay. Like, subscribe, share.
And we out. Peace.